there, Janet Fitz here for Galaxy Girl Creations. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to another day of 31 days of cut files. Today, our cut file is the three little clouds, and I am going to be doing some stencil work here using a stencil. I believe this is from Altenew, although I don't have it in front of me, so I can't tell you for sure. So I will try to look that up and put it in the links below, but no guarantees. So my apologies for that. Um, I am actually not at home to do that, so uh, yeah, sorry about that. The ink colors that I'm using here, I've got some Twisted Citron that I'm using over this stencil. I'm being very cautious not to go too close to the border of the stencil because I don't want to have those square lines. I just want this kind of leafy feel to it. And so since it is a 6x6 stencil, I'm having to kind of like just use the middle portion of the stencil and then move it over and do a little bit more. I am going to be using two other stencils over the top of this, so I'm going to have lots of leafy layers, and so those kind of white spaces where the stencil doesn't meet up perfectly isn't going to be noticeable really. This stencil is from Heidi Swap's Art Walk. It's a paper stencil, kind of a not chipboard, but not really, it's a little thicker than cardstock. And I've used these several times. As you can see, there's ink on them already. I'm just going over them again with some peeled paint, Distress Oxide ink. Started with my lightest color of leaves first, and then I'm getting gradually darker and darker with my next layers, just because I feel like it's really hard to go over something with a light color um, when you've got a dark color underneath. It's much easier to do the reverse. So that is what I'm doing. Now I'm using a Catherine Pooler Eucalyptus colored ink, and that's going to give me even darker shades and kind of alternating between these two tropical leaf stencils that are giving me kind of that layered effect with all of the different colors of inks. So I really like how it comes out. It might seem like a strange pairing to the paper that is on the left-hand side of my screen, but that is what I'm going to pair it with. That paper does have the mixed media look to it where it's got the orange and the blue, but there is actually some green as well. It just doesn't show up great on screen because the splotches of green are a little bit more subtle and smaller. So also, a lot of this greenery that I am creating is going to get actually covered up by those three not stencils, cut files, and then my photos are going to go over it as well. Um, so these, I don't remember what these guys are called. I have to look it up. I have not done the journaling on this page, so my apologies for that. But the photos are of the guys that climb up the poles and then they do like they swing around the pole. I don't know what it's called. But these were taken in Costa Maya, Mexico. And so I wanted to document that. I am going to be using a little bit of shimmers paint right onto a piece of scrap paper. And you can see that this is the same scrap paper that I used for the rainbows yesterday, but I am just using a little bit of this blue, it's called Lapis Dance, and I'm just putting enough paint down so that I can back those three clouds with this blue. I tried to pick the blue that was the closest color to the blue in the sky in the photographs, and I think it works really well. It's pretty close, and it's very similar to the blue, one of the blues that is on the background paper. So now I've just taken my paper, I flipped it over, I flipped my clouds over as well, traced them, and then cut them out. And then I am just backing my cut file like I have been all month long. So you've probably seen this process a few times. I'm not going to make you sit through that again. I just got those backed, and now I'm going to go ahead and layer up my papers here and figure out where my clouds are going to sit. I'm liking how this is coming together so far, and I'm just trying to figure out how high up on the page I want everything, and then I'm going to start pulling out some embellishments from the 49 and Market Everywhere collection. I also have some leaves from MK's shop, and they're wood veneer leaves. I'm going to use those as well. on this page to bring in a little bit of a natural color and a little bit of added texture. So because I've got so much green up at the top and there's orange and blue at the bottom, I've pulled the blue in by adding the clouds, but I want to pull in some of the orange as well. So I'm going to use this label up top, and then I've got a butterfly that has some orange on the tips of its wings that are going to go up top. And then I'm going to bring some labels down below as well so I can do some journaling in all of these spots. But it's going to help balance out the colors because I'm bringing them into both areas of my layout, also using a green label down below to bring the green lower on the page, just creating good balance, and so it feels like the two papers go together a little better than they look like just the two papers on their own. So yeah, tying them together the best way I can. So I originally started to go ahead and glue this mixed media paper down that I put all the leaves on. And then I realized I don't really need to waste the whole top of this sheet of that's going to be my background. So what I did was I put a line of ATG at the bottom of my leaf paper, and then I was able to pull it back and trim out the rest of the paper so that it stay or so that I don't waste it. And then I'm going to add a little liquid glue there, as you saw, to hold the two papers together, and the ATG will be kind of reinforced, I guess is the best way to describe it. I'm going to go ahead and stick all of my photos down. While I do that, I wanted to remind you to go check out what MK is doing on her channel using the cut files from today. And then there is also a link to a playlist down below. So if you've missed anything so far this month, you can go back and check that out easily. And then we do have some friends that have been playing along here and there throughout the month, and have their have their videos linked also. Okay, so now that we've got our cut files glued down and my photographs glued down, I also wanted to bring in some of that text because that bottom half of the paper now has all that text on it. So I pulled out some rub-ons from 49 and Market, and I am bringing those up to the top half of the page to bring in more of that text background to tie again both of those sheets together and make them look more like they go. Um, I'm liking how that's looking. I'm just going to keep on that same path using some more of the rub-ons so that it looks like it was created that way, I guess. Um, and I think they do a really good job of kind of balancing everything out. It also brings in a little bit more of the other colors because the rub-ons are varying colors, and adding a little bit of splotchy bits to these areas also because there's so many splotchy bits at the bottom part. I don't know, is splotchy bits a thing? Maybe. Okay, so I'm gluing my labels down, and my butterflies, I'm inking those up with some Black Soot Distress ink. Actually, I believe I inked up my labels as well, just to give them a little bit of added pop off the page, so that you could see them a little easier because there are quite a bit of there's a lot of texture and color going on here, so I wanted to make them stand out just a little bit more, so that added black border kind of really does the job. And then I am going to bring in again the wood veneer pieces from MK Shop. These are just some leaves. I think they're really cute, and they just give an added nod to the tropical vibe that's going on in the photos. And then I brought in the little orange chipboard camera and an orange tag at the bottom here. I'm not going to use the little banner piece, but I am going to use a green tag to bring the green all the way to the bottom of the page to again balance out all of that green that's at the top of the page. So it looks like it's all cohesive and put together as one thing, I guess. And um, they're not really competing with each other. So hopefully it's doing the job for you. It's working for me. And I guess that's the important part since it's going in my album and not yours, but I hope that it looks cohesive to you. Um, so I'm going to get all of those bits just glued down. And if you are someone who is interested in purchasing any of the cut files, they are still available over in MK Shop. There are links down below for the digital bundle as well as the physical bundle, and you get all of the 31 cut files in each bundle. They're not sorted out by week or anything, um, or you can't purchase them individually by week or by day. It's all one big bundle. So they are linked down below in case you're interested in that. Um, this is our final one for our whether or not week. Our next week is going to be our storyteller week. And so everything will be about storytelling or documenting. So that's going to be fun. We've been switching themes each week throughout the month, and it's been a lot of fun to see how we can use cut files in different ways and sometimes not even for the theme that they're intended for. That is it, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this one. If you have questions or comments, you can leave those down below. I hope that uh, you would consider giving my video a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, I would love for you to consider subscribing as well. Thanks for spending time with me today. I really do appreciate it. And I will be back again tomorrow with another video. So come back and check that out, and I will see you then.